All right, what is going on, guys? We're back, and in today's little snippet of an episode, we're going to be putting in an Astra power steering pump. Now, if you guys recall in episode 2, we got the car running, we got it started, it was running a bit hair going, we did have some injector issues, so we pulled them off and got those serviced. So that's all good now. Now, if you guys remember, I said this setup came out of another car, another VL, so it was already tuned. So once we got the car running pretty good, typical me, my heavy right foot, I couldn't help myself. I come up the driveway and one thing led to another. Yeah, so I couldn't help myself, and as you saw, we snapped some belts. Now, the issue, I probably should have trusted my gut instinct when I was putting that pump in. I was gonna go the Astra power steering conversion from the start, but I told myself, just slap it in, you've got everything there, just get it going. Poor man pays twice, right? So that bit me in the ass. We're gonna pull that off now. We did get the, we did get an Astra power steering conversion kit from Sydney Performance and Parts. They're located in Preston's. Now they do a full kit. It's literally bolts in, they give you all the fittings to go on your rack, they give you all the lines, they give you the mount. So that literally just bolts in. So we went out there today, we got that today. Let's have a look at it. So you got your braided line fitting. I'm assuming you're gonna have to run this and cut it to length. You've got your soft line, your return line. This is a pretty good kit. Respect to these guys, they make them pretty good. And you got all your fittings. And there's your pump. It's already pre-wired. You've got power, I think neutral or earth or whatever it is. And then you've got your accessories. So you obviously hook that up to ignition, I think. You've got your fitting in there. I don't know, we're gonna muck around with it. We're gonna play around with it. Then you got the bracket. I know Lowy Fab do a bracket, but I think this is their own version of the bracket. So that's gonna sit up underneath the guard. So it's a full kit. I think it'll be pretty dummy proof. We're gonna try and muck around with it today. Now the reason I'm in a rush is today is Tuesday. Now my first cousin is getting married in Mexico, so on Saturday. So I need to get this sent to Mexico to obviously do what I wanna do with that and have a bit of a party with it. The plan was to get the bonnet cut out, but I don't think we're gonna have time, because now I've got to do the Astra pump, and I still want to get it tuned, so I still want to send it to Justin. Again, the car did have a tune in it. It drives, it's good, it does what it has to do, but there's a couple of little gremlins that I want to go over. So I do want to send it to Justin to get that tuned and just looked over. We're going to rip into that. It's Tuesday now. I don't think I'll have the time to get the bonnet cut. Worst comes to worst, I'll just send it out to Mexico the way it is. No bonnet, no bar, and just send it. So yeah, we're going to rip into this Astra pump and hopefully that works. First things first, we need to get rid of all this shit, so delete all that and put the power steering delete bracket back on. Take the belt off. Now I don't want to remove all this to put the new belt on, so we're gonna have to MacGyver a way into getting this belt in. The old owner, my mate Tony, did reckon that he used to put belts in while this was on, so I don't know how we did that because it's tight as in there. But we'll give it a crack. So let's rip into this and see how we go. All right, so we've got the power steering delete there. So you've got that from Aeroflow. I've just moved that over and cable tied it up there because I don't want to undo the lines. Tomorrow I'll drop the rack and undo the lines from there and then run the new lines that we got. But we managed to get the new belt on, started the car. It seems to be all good. I'll get the Sparky out tomorrow to wire up what he has to with the pump. We are going to run it under the driver's side guard towards the front. I think that's the best spot. So just looking at that, we'll probably set it up somewhere in there, giving us enough access to undo the cap if we have to. But I'll get the electrician back out, Mark, tomorrow to wire that up and do what he has to do. But in the meantime, I thought I'd muck around with that, remove that, do what I have to today, so that way tomorrow all we need to do is hook up the pump and then we're good to go from there. So let's see how we go. All right, it's the next day. We've got Mark from Trackside Auto Electrical back here. because when I snapped the belt, it ripped the fan wiring out as well. Not only that, he's wiring up the Astra power steering pump for me. So we're getting all that sorted. We're gonna mount that today. And then hopefully that'll solve the issue of snapping any belts. So we'll give that a crack in a few hours once that's all wired up and mounted up. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Let's dig in. All right, we've got the big man himself. The memories that I have created with this guy over what, 15, 20 years? And some. This guy used to have a shed back in the day when he used to live at my mum's ages ago. Now this shed was for partying, for business, for hangout, sinking beers, smoking darts, you name it. That shed was it. And if you know, you know. So we called him around because he's actually mounted one of these Astra pumps in his brother's VL about 10 odd years ago. So he's going to MacGyver something here and sort it out, you reckon? Hey?
Yeah, hopefully.
What do you reckon, lad? Good?
Good.
Good. Alright, we've been tinking around for about, what, an hour, scratching our heads. I thought I was calling in some good help, but...
So you want that face?
Alright, killer. We've got it all mounted up and wired up.
It might take a couple of goes.
Now we're just going to run the hard line and the return line and get that going. Alright, good morning guys. It is now Thursday and last night we couldn't finish this off. The issue is, with the LS conversion, the headers are so close to the rack with those 90-degree bends, it sits hard on the rack. So you don't want that. It's going to cook the oil, it's going to cook that fitting. So we're going to go back to Sydney Performance and Parts. We're going to grab that. And I think that's the last bit to it. We got the pump mounted where we want it. We got it all wired up. We just obviously need to run the hard line and the return line to the pump. It's all done at the actual rack itself. It took us a little bit long because we had to drop the rack. I had to change the C-clamp on the intermediate shaft to go to the rack, so that was a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm lucky I had a few of the boys that came past last night. Thank you so much. So hopefully today, throughout the day during work, I'll stop off, I'll get those banjo fittings, I'll come back, I'll knuckle in, I'll get these lines sorted out and hooked up, fill her up with oil, start it, and then hopefully see if that works all well. I've got to get it a little bit under load to see if this belt's going to snap. But yeah, let's see how we go. Let's dig into that today. All right, we're back and we got the fittings that we need, the banjo fittings. So this is going to space it off the actual header itself. So you put the banjo fitting on and then you'll put your 90-degree bend on that. So we're going to do that now. I've in the meantime, I've hooked up the pressure line and the return line, so that's all good to go. Cable tied, whatever, it looks all right, it'll do. But I got Nick under there because Nick's half the size of me and I can't fit under there and get my hand in there to get the actual fittings off. Now these guys at Sydney Performance and Parts, absolute gentlemen. And the fact that they're local to where I live anyway, we don't got to go to the other side of the world. These guys have got a lot of stuff. They've actually got every fitting, line, hose, fuel systems. They're really good. So they're going to be my my go-to place from now on. I've been out to a rocket quite a few times. In the past week, I have gathered that much wrong fittings and bolts and nuts. It's just a headache. So at least these guys are sort of local. So it's good. Let's rip in. We had to go back to get new banjo fittings, so unfortunately the ones that they supplied us were wrong. Honest mistake, it happens, but these are the right ones. I went over it with the gentleman at the counter. Once this is in, I'm going to get it all running. If I snap another belt, I'm going to throw a hammer at the car and I'm going to park it up. I'm done with it. Sometimes you need to step away from something, have a bit of a breather and then get back into it. We've been digging at this for over a week straight every single day and I'm fucking over it. So let's see how we go. That's what you got to work with. It is so tight in there. You've got no clearance in that, so... Man. We've got one of the banjo fittings on. Now, if you're going to get this kit from Sydney Performance Parts, this is a shout out to you guys as well. Maybe try and get on top of this. These two banjo fittings that you guys supply don't bolt straight in. The actual heads of the bolts hit each other. So we're going to try file down the one we got in there, file the edge down and then pop this one on. But just little gremlins that you're going to have to deal with, guys. Anyone that's doing the Astra power steering conversion kit, just know that these are the little things that you're going to have to tackle. Bit of filing, you reckon? Bit of grinding, you reckon? I'm gonna try to show you guys what I mean. I don't know if you can see that. So you got 2 bolts there. We had to actually grind or file down 1 bolt in order for the other one to be able to screw in. Yeah, so if you're gonna do this conversion, just know that you're gonna get the top bolt in, you gotta then file down the little edge and then get the next one in. All right, I think that's everything. We've hooked that all up. Oh fuck, where's that leaking from? Right in the old drawer, you reckon? One of the banjo fittings is leaking, so we need to put a washer, copper washer. I think it's bottoming out when we put it in the rack. So we're trying to raid the drawer to get another washer in there and space it out. All right, I'm done. I'm tapping out. We just couldn't get it going. So last night, all the boys came around. We ended up getting the fittings to work. We put the copper washers in between it. We've done what we had to do, but as you can see, no belt. We snapped another one doing a skid up the street. I don't know what else to do. Everything's done. We have gone ham on this car for the past, God, I don't know how long, 10 days. We've done everything back to front, fuel system, engine, wiring, shifter, gearbox, you name it, as well as all the teething issues finished. We thought we had it good, and then bang, that went on us. So I'm done. I'm not gonna make the wedding. It is what it is, but I can't muck around with this anymore. I'm in the doghouse with the bread knife. I haven't seen my kids in a couple of weeks, you know, I haven't hung out with them properly, so the missus is fucking blowing up. So I'm just gonna send it out to Justin at PSI Fab. I'll get him to try check the clearances on the belt, see what the issue is. It might be one of the pulleys, but yeah, no, I'm done, man. I'm tying my hands up with this. I'm putting the gloves up because I don't know what else to do. So Justin, the car's coming your way. I hope you can work your magic, man, because I just want to get in this and absolutely take my stress and anger out on it like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, that's this episode, guys. I hope you have learned a little bit about how to put this power steering pump on when you get that kit from Sydney Performance Parts. There is a couple of little things that you're going to have to address if you do put it in, but yeah, we'll see you on the next one.